Well, I must confess something, Joe. As you have doubtless noticed, I am not a person of any great worth or significance. I am, not a brilliant scientist or a, established leader or even a great warrior. Certainly not a great warrior.
You
I
see,
am,
I'm the one who's supposed to be making the jokes about how much you suck. Like, not you.
I'm
You're supposed
not,
to groan at them.
I'm not joking, Joe. You see, the reason I was put into stasis is, well, I wasn't supposed to be originally, but as it happened, I'm the heir of a rather influential family, and they had connections. They pulled strings, and well, eh, some poor. I do not know. Ultimately, they did not tell me who whose pod it was that I took the I replaced, and having the pod. They thought it was better that I do not know. It would help to ease my conscience, they said, but it does little. So it should be that some brilliant mind or whomever should be here, perhaps talking to you instead of I. But here I am.
In all likelihood, they probably died in that war that you mentioned anyway over the pods.
Well, yes, I mean, of
Or
course they're.
why else would the pod be empty?
Like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, they had not
Like,
been. Uh,
it's like as soon as the war occurred, you'd think they'd try to get the important people in the pods to save them. So, in all likelihood, they probably died anyway before they get to the pod, and so that's
Possibly,
why there was one open.
I do not know. It was just everything was so tattered then. I mean, all that second war just transpired over the course of a few days. I mean, I do not know how much longer it lasted after I was placed in stasis, but it was just. I remember a little of it. It just this horrible blur of bloodshed and running and fear. It was just. Ugh, it's truly awful.
Does beg the question, though. You said there were a couple dozen pods.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So what happened to the other 23 people?
Frankly, I do not know. Near the end, the pods were actually moved away from one another to avoid, the people of Dire from capturing all of them at once, and so they were spread out. And I have searched, the what little I knew about, where they might be, but I have not found anyone else. It is possible that there are others from my society out there, but frankly, I doubt it. I
So
don't know.
these pods could stand alone then, not like
Yes.
some big facility.
And
Huh. And they gave you no way to try and find each other.
I mean, the Hornets should have been in the. Well, no, they wanted them in the computers. That doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, the people of Dia would have just hacked them. But that's what they told us. They no, they. I suppose they didn't. They gave us
Well,
no information. They
they
said
could
they
hack
would,
them.
but
Sure, they could hack them, but you could still try and lock the computer. I mean, you can't just give them nothing from the fear that someone else is going to find it. It
perhaps
just
they
makes
left.
no sense.
Well, perhaps they left some clue, some indication. But I don't know. Again, these were so tattered, so desperate during those times that, well, frankly, very little made sense, or often doesn't.
Uh huh. Still, you'd think if, you know, they were trying to preserve their people, they'd give some way for the remaining people to find each other and, I don't know, repopulate the world or something. Just think about it, dude.
Well, I searched, but I did not find anything.
This
So,
doesn't add up, man.
well, I don't know. Again, part of the my desire for you know finding the facility where they had placed my pod. Whereas some facility level of facility was required ultimately because they required a fair amount of power. It was just not a dedicated stasis facility in essence. But part of my desire for finding that facility once more would be to do another search, perhaps with you at my side, since you have to seem to have a fair amount of knowledge of computers and whatnot, and perhaps we could find a clue, and from there, find others in my society. I do not know, but that
That's
is
assuming there's a clue to be found.
yes. I don't know. I mean,
It's like, I feel like they should have left you a note and like something obvious at that.
Perhaps there was, but it was destroyed or damaged. I do not know, honestly. Defines one of my own people, to reunite with them. It would be a hope. It is a hope beyond hope at this point. But, well, there it is in all its grisly glory, if you would, if you could call it such. That is my story. And I suppose you don't believe a word of it, since you still think this is all a game. It's all a lie, that
Yeah.
I'm just completely and utterly insane, that this entire account was just made up on the spot, that I am lying to you, that my pain is artificial, or
Not on
some crazy
not on
delusion.
the spot, but it is rather suspect. I mean, like the last hope of a race, and given no chance to find each other again. It seems, I don't know, just too many things that don't add up.
In those respects, Joe, I am as confused as you are. Would that I want, but so, but beyond that, I do you find the story plausible, or I mean, how does it? If you
For the
trust that
most
I at
part,
least
I
you trust
suppose.
that I at least believe what I am telling you. Yes,
Oh, there's
even
no
if you
doubt you believe it.
okay. At least we have established that
And
much. That is
whether or
good.
not, I've never accused you of being a liar. Deluded, maybe. Insane, possibly, but not a liar.
I suppose that is something. For that, I do sincerely thank you. But what about the rest of the story, Doe? Do you think that it holds any form of water at all, or how does it reconcile with your thoughts on this is all being a game?
Well, I think it would probably hold water if it weren't for the drought. Eh?
So,
Eh?
Joe, I thought we were beyond this. Honestly, I pour my heart and soul out to you, and you're still making your terrible jokes. I realized that you were attempting to
So,
just delight in the mood, but that is frankly beyond your ability at the moment. I'll be fine, just painful
you have to
memories
admit it
is
was
all.
good, though. I mean, holding water, drought. No?
It was not funny at all, so Joe, I'm afraid. Of course, that is rather par for the
You have
course
no
for you.
taste for good humor. Yeah. Well, at least I'm par and not doing worse.
Well, the par is set rather low, though.
Still par.
Uh-huh.